we've actually been holding out the hope for this council. We've been visioning for this council for at least 15 years. So we are just so grateful that it's manifested. The fruition is here. And the council actually was formed 2 years ago around the Parliament of World Religions. So the people who are currently sitting on the Next Gen Council all collaborated together to lead a dance session at the Parliament in 2023 in Chicago. And since that time, when they focalized a really beautiful, magnificent session of the dances there, they have been meeting on Zoom bi-monthly, or now it's about monthly, that they meet together and they discuss important questions about the future of our tradition and what this is all going to look like and who is carrying the tradition forward. So they are also planning and preparing to host our second annual DUPNA retreat weekend, which will happen at the farm community in Tennessee in July. And they'll talk a little bit about that towards the end of the gathering today. So I just want to offer deep gratitude again for the 5 members of the Next Gen Council who are here with us. And I am going to invite Hayat to help me spotlight our members together so that they can introduce themselves.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming. My name is Mary Hoyer. I'm living in Connecticut. I've been dancing since about 2019. And within the last year, I've become a mentored dance leader. And now Anna Gabi's going to say hi.
Can you unmute?
So you're muted, Anna Gabi. There you go.
Are you listening? I am Ana Gaby. I'm from Mexico. I live in Playa del Carmen. I know the dance 15 years ago and started a leader since 13 years ago. And I create the School of Dances here in Riviera. I'm happy to be here and of the next generation.
I think I'm next. I'm Ashley and I live in Richmond, Virginia. I've been dancing since 2012. And I'm currently a dance theater mentee in a monthly circle here in Richmond, led by Hayat, actually. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
And you, led by me and you.
Oh, yes. There you go.
Hi, my name is Janice, and I am located in the Chicago suburbs. And so it was so great to see so many people at the Parliament, kind of in my own backyard, and it was wonderful to be part of that planning. I've been dancing actually for 20 years. I learned about the dances in college and started actually outside of Rockford, which is also close to Madison. And so I started 20 years ago, and I was trying to think, it's probably been at least 5 years. I can't actually, unfortunately, remember the exact time when I became a certified dance leader. But yeah, so I've been doing that at least for 5 years, and then I love focusing on children's and kind of incorporating the dances into different nature-based activities I do with children.
Hello, everybody. My name is Noor Jahan, and I'm from Duluth, Minnesota, and I've been dancing since about 2003. Found the dance as a universal piece and at the Maui Sufi camp in Hawaii, and moved to Duluth and there was no circle here, so I started one in about 2012, and it's really taken off in the last 5 years, I'd say. And I'm grateful to be here.
Thank you. Thank you all. Okay, I'm now going to introduce kind of what this call is about, what we're focusing on, and kind of the order of the events on the call today. So last year in November, I had the honor of being at the first annual DUP North America retreat at the farm community in Tennessee. And Nurjahan and Ashley were there as well. And one of the things we did at that retreat was we had a conversation about the dances, what they mean to us, and how to encourage the dances to flourish, how to spread them and get more people involved, and how to empower the next generation of dancers. And that conversation was so nurturing to me, and I hope to everybody else there, for several reasons. One is that I feel like we really got to come into a heartfelt connection across the generations. Like this tradition, you know, there's younger folks, there's elders, it's a lineage, and it really needs to transfer through the folks involved. So having everyone sit down and talk about why the dances mean so much to them, it just opened up this heartfelt connection that was so potent and beautiful. And from there, we were talking about our unique ideas to spread the dances, what people have tried already, what's been working, and then how to make this a sustainable thing by empowering the next generation of dancers, which needs to happen if this is going to keep living and keep growing, which we need it to. We need each other, and the world needs this practice, this attunement that we bring. So I'm hoping to sort of spread that fire through this call, get more people involved in that same conversation that we had back in November, and just spark new energy and reach more circles, get more people fired up and taking action to spread this light that we're sharing. So that's what we're going to get into this evening. So the order of what's going to happen next is that Nurjahan is going to guide us in a centering practice. And then after that, I'm going to introduce the questions we'll discuss. We're going to go into breakout rooms, talk in groups of 3 or 4 folks. Then we'll come back to the big room all together and share any key takeaways. And then at the end of this call, Janice is going to make some announcements about the upcoming retreat that we're hosting at the farm and invite folks to volunteer and help us out. And that's how it's going to flow. So now I'll turn it over to Nurjahan.
All right, everybody, let's find our groundedness together and try to anchor into this virtual space toward the one. So finding your roots and your sacrum and your connection to the earth. Tuning into your pelvis and bringing your breath, softening your breath, your diaphragm, maybe bringing your awareness of your breath in the way that it might touch or not touch. Further down in your abdomen, maybe all the way down to the bowl of your pelvis, down to the center of the earth. Tuning into your heart space, your shoulders, your head, your neck, your voice. Finding a place where your shoulders are in alignment over your vessel of your pelvis and your head, third eye, crown connected to the stars. Noticing the breath. Noticing which way you're choosing to breathe in this moment. If it's in through the nose and out through the nose, or in through the nose and out through the mouth, or in through the mouth and out through the nose, or in through the mouth and out through the mouth. And gathering together in a unified breath in through the nose and out through the nose, if you're not already. Grounding out this time together. Calling in all of our ancestors, all the people that have come before us to get to this place. And holding space for all the ones yet to come. Like a unified bridge throughout time, just imagining all those beings holding hands together. Imagine everybody breathing together, all hearts beating as one. And in a unified breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Calling in the elemental water. And the fluidity of our being, of our nature here. The water that is our life. And unifying our breath in through the mouth and out through the nose. Connecting with that spark, that eternal flame, and pure inspiration. In through the mouth and out through the nose. And breathing now in through the mouth and out through the mouth. Connecting with ether. Or air. Just grounding that out. Again, in through the nose and out through the nose. And if your eyes are closed, maybe bringing your hands on up to your eyes and cupping your eyes. Opening your eyes to look at the back of your hands. This body vessel that you have, that you're inhabiting. These hands that touch the world around you. And slowly pulling your hands away from your face. And if you want to sing with me, maybe noticing if you're muted or not, maybe muting yourself. I'm going to sing this song a few times through. You do not carry this on your own. No, you do not carry this on your own. This is way too big for you to carry this on your own. So you do not carry this on your own. Again, you do not carry this on your own. No, you do not carry this on your own. This is way too big for you to carry this on your own. So you do not carry this on your own. One more time. You do not carry this on your own. No, you do not carry this on your own. This is way too big for you to carry this on your own. So you do not carry this on your own. Toward the one, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the mystery, the Mother, and the miracle, the Spirit of guidance. And if we could turn it on over to Ana Gabi to say the invocation in Spanish.
Perfección del amor, la armonía y la belleza. El único ser unido a todas las almas iluminadas que forman la manifestación del Maestro. Espíritu.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Nurjahan and Anagabi. I'd like to encourage people, if you have not already taken a moment, just to go into gallery view at least long enough to take in this beautiful collection of folks who have taken the stand to uphold peace, love, and unity, and who have the courage to spread that in this world, because it's not always an easy thing, and we need each and every one of you here, because as Nurjahan said, this is too big for any of us to do alone. So it's so good to be in this beautiful community together. Thank you all so much for coming. So tonight we're having a conversation, and there's a few specific questions that I'm going to share with you, that we're going to take into our small breakout groups and really drop into a discussion with 3 or 4 people probably per group, and get into these questions. And I'm going to mention a couple things before that happens. I would really love for each group to have at least one person who's recording what's being shared, what people are willing to share, to write that down. And then when we come back, to paste it into the chat in the main room so that the information can be collected and that we can make it available to everyone here and all the folks who aren't here also, because we really hope that everyone can benefit from the ideas and the inspiration that's shared here today. So please have one scribe per group and copy and paste the information back to us. And I'm going to invite you also, when you get into your group, if you would like to just kind of introduce yourselves, get to know each other a little bit, if you want to take another few unifying breaths or do anything that helps you drop in, stay in a heart-centered space and kind of open up and just explore the questions together. And then we're going to be in the breakout groups until the bottom of the hour. So 30 minutes after the hour is when we're going to pull everybody back into the main room, and then we'll be sharing any highlights that folks want to share. Someone, I think it was Hayat, has pasted the questions into the chat, and I'll just read them aloud. The first question we're going to talk about is, what value do the dances bring to your life? So personally, what value are you receiving? And then the second question is, how can we spread the dances individually and as a collective? So like, what can I do as one person? And then as a collective, what can we do? Or at any level in between, you know, the local level or the North American region or beyond, how do we spread the dances? And the last question, as individuals and as a collective, how do we empower the next generation of dancers and leaders? How do we empower the next generation? And as you're answering the questions, if there are things that you've tried already that have worked or have not worked for spreading the dances or empowering the next gen, we'd love to hear that too, because we want to know. We're just exploring and looking for ways to spread this light. So those are the questions. And I think we may be ready or just about ready to go into breakout groups. Does anyone have any questions or need clarification? We're going to have
Jen is organizing the breakout groups.
okay, great.
So it's just going to take me just a moment because some people fell off and then came back. And so when you first go into your breakout room, it might be that I'm still trying to move a few people. So just if you could have patience with that process, but I'll be doing it as fast as I can. But I think we could go ahead and open it.
And will they still be able to see the questions in the chat when they get into their breakouts?
That I don't know. Hayat, do you know?
Yeah, you used to be.
There were scribes in your group, and it's, you know, an accessible thing to share in the chat. Any of the writings from your group experience. And either way, if you can't get in the chat, that's okay. But right now we're going to talk about what your breakout experience, what came up, what your takeaways were. So would anybody like to start us off with and sharing about that?
I will. Hi, Ashley. This is Bimlan. So one of the things that came up that was most powerful for me in our breakout session was, how can we support, I don't know the right questions, the next generation of I was trying to read. Anyway, how can we support the people coming forward? That wasn't the correct word, but anyway, that to me that was the richest part of our conversation. We had a young woman from New Zealand join us, and I wish that she were in this country so she could join our next gen council. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. That was a really rich part of the conversation that I hope we do more of at some point. Thanks.
Even though I was from that group, this is Taja Lee. I'm from Montana. I took copious notes. I'm going to send them to you, Ashley, and also make sure they're legible. A really important emergence came through on two levels, one on accessibility to people who are not necessarily able to dance. They're welcoming, making sure they feel welcome, and having other accommodations to make sure no matter what your physical stances that you feel like you're welcome into the community. There was some addressing of dance leaders wanting money or higher payment, and that was a barrier for accessibility for people, and that became the edge that did not feel welcoming, this idea of fee for this practice, and having it be the focus. But the greatest thing, and I will identify you, Rue, because it was so beautiful. The importance that we look at how we are holding this lineage to make it accessible in being flexible with what groups, how we are, some people are using sacred circles and some of the dance materials, but is it okay to use the dance material in sacred circles? Flexibility in having, and how a dance leader might present a dance, and looking at the history of how sometimes it comes through very rigid from our lineage, and that there be more flexibility and greater expansion as this is a peace practice. Rue, did I capture what you were saying?
Somewhat. I think that we need to both honor tradition and lineage, and also flexibility and expansion in order to allow people to lead in a way that they feel guided, that's from the heart. Because in my experience, if I feel confined by it having to be a certain way in order for it to be okay, then all of my joy and my courage is squashed, and I don't feel inspired to lead. But if I can follow what's in my heart and to share in the way that I wish someone had shared it for me, that tends to, my mind's need for safety and understanding and having less complexity about what's going on, and having different ways in which to engage with it. Sometimes we're just going to sing the song, we don't have to dance, like add all of it together all the time and for it to be in one particular format, and if it's not in that, for it to not feel okay. So yeah, more flexibility about how the practice can be shared and how to honor the lineage and the tradition whilst also embracing that accessibility and allowing for people's expression and whatever the way it is that it connects for them. So it's expansive, not contracting.
Thank you all. Is Is there another group that would like to share?
So one of the things we came up with at the end, and Wayne and I were talking about how we do a lot of advertising for our camps. And we thought, how to empower the next generation. It'd be nice to put together an advertising committee that learns how to use all the resources and the tools and everything, and puts all those tools together, and then could even fundraise in the group. People donate money to the advertising committee, and then the advertising committee can help dances and circles advertise.
I just want to clarify, Zareen, thank you for sharing that. It's sort of like a skill building group, but we're also like helping advertise for camps like all over. We would invite in people to participate in like a skill building opportunity, is what I heard. And
Well,
we could
yeah, but it could go bigger than that. I just had the idea, so I have no idea what it would turn into. But advertising builds momentum, right? And so if everybody is advertising their camps kind of through the same resources, then momentum will build and we'll all be helping each other rather than everybody out for themselves, sort of a thing. So I have no idea how it would work, but advertising is really complex and very expensive.
We've wanted to update our materials in the Dance Organizer Toolkit to include, Canva, like getting a nonprofit Canva account that people could access. But I like what you're suggesting is like we actually are teaching the skills. So we're creating, not just creating the templates, but we're actually inviting people to come in and like learn how to come in and use it themselves. So it's not just 3 people who know how to use it.
And how to use Google advertising, how to use YouTube advertising, how to post ads in the newspaper, how to find, it's very complex and very time consuming and expensive to do, but it's successful. And the reason it's successful, back to our first questions, is because if you bring a new person into a loving, wonderful circle, you've got them forever. They want to stay. We're building family, and so because of what we do, advertising is very good.
Oh,
Effective.
we actually just made a contact with a young person who this is what she does for a living. She's got clients and she does advertising on social media platforms. So we might be able to glean something from her or even have her come in and give a talk.
But just with the idea of expanding.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I just want to say I love it. And Zareen, I hope that you join the committee if we form one. Both of you guys. Thank you.
I find the dance is spread by word of mouth. I'm not sure, we haven't found that advertising brings people out. It's more that you meet people or they experience it in some form and they want to know more. And Rue mentioned another important question. It's about how we describe the dances. I just saw the term body prayer, which I love. And we talk about moving meditations, but sometimes people are afraid they can't dance. So if we can find ways to describe the practices that make them more accessible to people, I think that's also really important.
Hi,
everyone.
Oops, go ahead.
I I just want to name. So I'm Connie. I'm in Minnesota. Just hopping in for a short bit. I lead dances, and I'm a lot. The organization I work for, Music That Makes Community, is dances without the dances. So it's paperless song sharing. And I'm connected to both the secular and the predominantly Christian practitioners of this practice. And in a Facebook group, someone's who I know as a well-developed song leader was sharing the challenge of like, how do we talk about this? And everybody had the same answer of like, you know, we talk about it, but like people don't really get it. And essentially that, you know, word of mouth, inviting people in, telling them that it's an experience that they need to experience is part of like, is the hook. But I also made the observation that we are living in a modern time in which circle practices of singing or dancing together is a really strange thing. And so the people around us don't have very little experience with this. But I believe like if we can get them in the room, that something, because our ancestors have been doing this for eons, that it will spark some flame of the ancient spiritual technology that we know it is, that it will like turn something on. So I just want to name, so all that to say that we're not alone in asking that. In a very similar realm, they're asking the same questions with the same struggles, and we are not alone. And I just wanted to share that idea of like, how do we invite people into circle practice? And one last thing to say, in the song leading world, Lawrence Cole in Fort Townsend, Washington, talks about the 4 spiritual technologies of belonging. And I want to invite us to think about how maybe we use all of these pieces. And I think we do. Singing together, dancing together, storytelling together, and silence together. I know that last one is a little weird. I had to do a little zzz when I first thought about it, but I think you all get it once you pause to think about it. Anyway.
Honey, who's the
together.
Eating together.
Eating.
I was trying to find out who the reference is. If you could put it in the chat, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was my question. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've heard it from Lawrence Cole, but I don't know if he's quoting anybody else. If you know, let me know, because I've been like, I just quoted from who I heard it from. So
I'm picking up like magic phrases. I like this idea of spiritual technology. Like, what are our bite-sized phrases that we can give to people to share? And then I also heard we're building family from, I think, from Zareen. So I love that. And I see Tara's.
I have an idea that just popped into my head. That there will be maybe more demonstrations around the country. And I was thinking that if people could do circles at the demonstration, dance circles to show people just exactly what it's like. And then maybe hand out cards or something, or get other people to join into the circles, and instead of just sitting around shouting and getting angry, to make dance circles inside the demonstrations. And there you got a big audience, hopefully, and you don't have to be political at all. It's just about it's just a dance, not making any statements. You're just doing a dance and music. So, and maybe attract some people that way. An idea.
You're being political by just being at the demonstration. No, it's not going for any parties or anything. You're not backing a party or not anybody. Just love is not love. I don't think is political, but just spreading the love.
Ashley, can I share something?
Sure. I did want to say, Connie said,
go ahead.
it's, I'm pretty sure the name is Angelus Arian. It's a cultural anthropologist.
Right.
Yeah.
I know that one.
Yeah.
I was just going to type this in the chat, but it started to feel too cumbersome. So I just thought I'd say that besides social media and using videos a lot to share what dances are like, when people start to hear about them, that helps more than just trying to describe it verbally. But and we have things like that. We have good videos on the executive director of DUPNA on her channel and some other channels, like from the Parliament of the World's Religions and things like that. And I wanted to say that in addition to the social media and using our mailing list, we have something in the meetup. It's too expensive for us to have a meetup group just for our dance circle, but I became one of the hosts, I don't know if that's the right word, of a meetup called RVA, Richmond, Virginia, Yoga and More meetup. And there's like 4,000 people that belong to it. And I've been able to add our dances as a regular recurring event on that group. And then I send messages to the whole 4,000 people. And every single dance circle, we have at least a couple of new people from meetup that way. And some of them eventually convert to being regular attendees. So I just want to share that.
Thank you, Ryan. We had Sarah. I didn't know you had your hand raised. Sorry about that. I
Yeah.
can't get on my phone. Go ahead,
No
Sarah.
problem. I just wanted to build on the idea of belonging and the word of mouth. In our group, we talked about the importance of following up with people because being together in circle is so new for many, and making eye contact so much can be uncomfortable at first. In our circle, we try to really check in with people afterwards, after their first time, and also continue to invite, because although we've, taken in the medicine and are very confident that of the spiritual technology, for many people, it's kind of a gradual process. And so I think that you have to think about it in have a first experience and then have the support to feel invited again and checked in, and however they are is okay. And it's a process. That's what I wanted to share.
I wanted to share a couple of key words that I picked up from Petaluma from Cambridge, Massachusetts, I think is where she lives. That I asked her if I could use on some of my posters, and she had "We meet in the heart," just like somewhere on the poster, and simple. Here, I'm going to read it. Hold on a second. I need to look at it. Simple circle dances, singing sacred phrases, no experience necessary.
Nurji, would you repeat that again?
Yeah, it was simple. I need to read it. Simple circle dances, singing sacred phrases, no experience necessary, and we meet in the heart. And if I can, I'll add a flyer that has it on there to the chat.
I think it's really important to just at this time in the world to
emphasize the word peace, dances of peace, or sharing peace, or praying for peace might be a little bit too off-putting for some people, but the fact that dances of universal peace is quite long. But the idea that the key is peace. There's almost anywhere in the world where even if you get a few people singing shalom or assalamu alaikum or something, it just does something. Even the Japanese people, everybody just opens up really quickly. So that's as far as the naming or presenting what we are, what we're doing. The emphasis on the word peace in this time is very important for me.
Thank you for sharing. Next up is Linda.
Yes, I prepared a flyer that I post at grocery stores and public community bulletin boards that announce where our dances are held, and it's just a sheet of paper size. But on that flyer, I say there are 4 ways to participate. Just sit and enjoy the activity and soak up the vibration. Sit and chant or sing along. Sit, sing, and just do hand movements. And that has brought in some people that that have mobility issues. And then, or join in the group movement and singing. And so I've been putting that phrasing on little business cards that I have my name and contact information on the back, along with the date that we have our we're on the second Sunday every month. And so I put that date on the other side of the business card. But if they have questions, they can contact me, but it gives them something to hang on to. And the other side of the card has these 4 ways they can participate. And that has proven to bring in some new folks. And some of them have become more consistent every month. They're coming back because they liked it. And they started out just sitting and listening.
Thank you, Linda. I'm going to share the notes from my group, and then I think we're going to wrap up this portion of the meeting. The dances are path, practice, and connection to self and others, sharing as a leader and building community with other dancers. Traveling with the dances is important work, a soul calling. Getting strangers holding hands in a circle where all are welcome. Uplifting feeling unlike anywhere else, elevating, reconciling societal programming to argue and polarize. Inclusivity, non-judgmental presence. Empower the younger generation. Make short videos on social media of dances. Spread seeds. Offer direct experience of dances too. Foster social connection in a tech-heavy society, and street dancing. Thank you all for sharing. And I believe Mary has an announcement, or no, I'm sorry, Janice has an announcement.
But is there time for Vimlan to, she had her hand up.
Well, could we also maybe, because I know a lot of people have to end at 7, could we maybe, if people want to share after, but I really want to make sure that we announce the retreat because I think it's really, really important. So if I could make the announcement, and I'll leave it up to Mary if she wants to let people stay on to continue to share. But so thank you all of everyone for this. And I really wanted to say thank you. Mary, especially, she put this together, and Nurjahan, that song brought tears to my eyes because for us as this Next Generation Council, we've kind of been working as now the 5 of us. And it's so great to have this larger community here. And I think that's what, at least I would like to share from the Next Gen Council is even though we are Next Gen, which we're a little bit more than older than that, we would love, whether you want to call yourselves the older gen, to really assist us. Like we're all in this together and it's too much for us to hold as ourselves. So first, come, please, please come. Thursday, July 31st, we're going to start in the evening, and then it goes until Sunday, August 3rd, around lunchtime. And so I'm just going to start with that. You can go on the website. But really, also what we would love is volunteers. So marketing, marketing, marketing. I mean, we've talked about it a lot today. If you have any experience, please reach out. Please let us know. I know not just the next gen with the retreat, the whole DUPNA is looking for Canva support, marketing support, marketing, marketing, marketing. And I would love to see marketing committees outside of next gen and outside of the board. So that's one. The event, if you can come, Wednesday during the day, even Wednesday evening. That Thursday, we need people to possibly food prep. We need people to drive to the airport. So if you're available to come Wednesday night, we still need to discuss what that'll look like. But if you think that's a possibility, we know we're going to need all hands on deck Thursday, help setting up, help driving, food prep. So we will send you more details if you are able to do that. We're also talking a lot about this being for families and children activities. And so in order to support families, we need assistance with the children, because I know for me, as when my children were young, I wanted to experience the dances and also wanted my children to feel free and comfortable with others. And so especially if you're bringing teenagers, that could be a potential. Or if you are interested in assisting with children activities, that's something else. And then just some other opportunities, welcoming, orientation, cleanup at the end if you're sticking around, logistics, all of these things. We're still figuring out exactly what we'll need, but if you are able to help and assist, we would love that. And that is any generation. And with that being said, too, Jen mentioned it's been 2 years. And so that is kind of what our council has agreed to. There's several of us that will be staying on past the 2 years, but we're looking for people ages 18 to 50. So that's what it's kind of that 40, 50 is a bridge. And the 18 to, let's say, 35, so maybe it's 18, 35 is next gen. But anywhere in that 18 to 50 age, we would love for you to join the council. And we're still working on application processes. But if you're interested in meeting with us monthly, bi-monthly, we'll figure it out. But really have your experiences as kind of a younger, whether it's leader or just dancer, those conversations. So I think that is what I wanted to share. And I know some people have to hop off, but I think, let me know if there's anyone else on the council, anything else you wanted to say.
Thank you, Janice. I just wanted to share, I put the website for the national retreat in the chat, and also Hayat shared the flyer in there.
And so I think if we want to, what we had next was May All Beings Be Well by Anagabi. And so, yeah, I guess I just wanted to ask Mary, are you comfortable? Because Mary really co-created and kind of, are you comfortable with people staying on if they would like to? Or I didn't want to make that decision without your thoughts.
Yes, thank you, Janice, for that. I'll just mention I put our email address, nextgendup@gmail.com, for folks who want to volunteer or get more info. And I think it would be great if anyone wants to continue the conversation, but first we'll do a formal closeout so that we have exposure for everyone. And then if you'd like to stay and conversate and share ideas, I'll stay on.
Are
Thank you so-
you seeing Anagabi? Because I think she might have fallen off the call.
Oh.
No, I see her.
I see
Is
her
she
there.
there? Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Can I say before we close, it occurred to me, Jen, should have mentioned this. I mean, this is the place to mention it. Is that there is a 52-foot portable tent that is available for this group, this next generation group. And I want to let you know that it is in an 8-foot Hallmark trailer that can be hauled anywhere in the country. And it's at my place here in Idaho, and I would be more than happy to meet somebody halfway. And also, I can help assist in putting the thing up. I can even grab a few people who I've worked with over the past 25 years that would be happy to come in and assist this group in using that tent and getting it back into the circle.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
And this is the storied wilderness dance camp tent that was gifted to DUP North America from Oneness Project. And we're so grateful for Wayne and Zareen who've been tending to it. And Wayne, of course, who has been the tent master for years and years and years. And to be continued. If you have ideas to share, we'd love to hear it.
Could I just make one quick cautionary point? Although we talk about DUPNA, it is mostly in the United States. And right now, for anyone in Canada, it's very expensive to go to any events in the States. And it's not always safe for people to cross the border. There's been all kinds of deportations taking place. So I think we need to be sensitive to that as well when holding events in the US, that it might make it more difficult. People from Mexico, for example, or from Canada.
Yeah. Thank you, Rana. Very good point.
And DUP North America includes Canada, Mexico, and United States. And these are important considerations for us to take to heart right now. So I'm grateful that you brought that up.
You ready, Anagabi? Okay.
Que todos los seres estén bien, que todos sean felices. Paz, paz, paz.
Thank you, Anagabi. I'm going to stay on. I have at least 15 minutes. Did anybody, I think it was Vimlan who wanted to share.
It's something actually that I can do offline. I don't need to do it in the middle of this group, but I'm happy to stay on if I was just thinking about, wouldn't it be wonderful if we got all of the flyers that people were talking about, if they could email them to Executive Director Jen's email address. And there are people that have left already, and maybe we can follow up with an email, and because they're so rich.
I can send an email with follow-ups to, because everyone registered. So I think I know I had that exact thought actually, Vimla.
I know. Okay, well, that's what I was thinking. So thank you. Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. DUP North America, we will have a quarterly concentration email coming out soon within the week. And then we will have a Zoom gathering a few weeks later with collaborations from the community. So please keep an eye out for that. If you feel called to share, we would love to have your offering, to have your voice in the circle.
And I also do think that the flyer, you put it up on the website, our website, Jen?
The flyer for the retreat?
Yes, the flyer for the retreat.
I did, and I put the link in the chat.
Okay,
but
it's hard to get,
I'll send it out in the follow-up email.
Yeah, I would encourage everybody to print it and take it with you to your dances to try and encourage more participation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks.
Dr. Lee, I wanted to thank you for your comments. You moved me to tears in acknowledging the difficulty of people being engaged with the dancers who are not in the United States. And I think it might even be worse for people who are not white and middle class. I mean, we know that there's been difficulties. I'd also recommend that in terms of even events, that there be a sliding scale of fees. We're right about, tariffs are about to kick in next week, and it's going to be devastating to the economies of Canada and Mexico, as well as within the United States. So I think we will need to be sensitive to what's happening to people and their livelihoods in the next while.
Thank you, Rana.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. To be continued. Yes, yes, yes.
I had one thing I wanted to share, that I was at a symposium yesterday, and they were talking about intergenerational dialogue. And one of the ideas that they shared that somebody was doing in their community was something called peace pairs. And they were partnering people from different generations. And they said partners, not mentors. So there was no mentoring going on. It was partnering, and they meet over Zoom monthly to share and learn from one another in order to grow. And I just thought that was so inspiring, and it reminded me so much of the Dances of Universal Peace. So I just wanted to share that at this meeting.
I love that, Ashley. We had kind of talked about something with the Mexico dance leaders about pairing the Mexico dance leaders with a dance leader in in the United States or Canada. But I love that idea of just intergenerational sharing.
Yeah, I do too. It's powerful.
If you could send a link or something, like if you have a little write-up or.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.